check.
Nice.
سلام به همه. سلام به همه. جاش جون باورت میشه که جفری بالاخره امشب داره عروسی میکنه؟
آره خیلی عجیبه. ببین کی میشه. اولا از آمدن شما امشب تشکر میکنیم.
بله مردم از همه جا امریکا اینجا هستن.
Wait, Alt. I think you better switch to English. There's at least one table here tonight that doesn't know Farsi. Neither do we. But seriously, for those of you who don't know us, I'm Josh, and this is Jeff, and we've been Jeff's best friends for over 20 years. It's rare that friends are so close while growing up. It's even more rare that they stay such good friends so long after.
At the end of high school, Jeff, Josh, Todd, and I took out a page in the yearbook titled Boys for Life. And things have really never changed. Todd is still the best at basketball, Josh still plays with his computer all the time, and I still listen to one song on repeat for weeks and weeks over.
And Kadavi is still the same old self. So let's talk about that.
Jeff loves to win. Ever since we were kids, Jeff has always been extremely competitive. No matter what we were playing, Jeff always wanted to finish first. Whether it was basketball, Mario Kart, Pogs, or Guess Who.
And while Jeff beats us in a lot of things, the one game he'd always crush us in was ping pong. He was so good that we used to convince people that he won the Junior International Ping Pong Tournament in China. And he actually did go on to win the ping pong championship at Emory University. Yeah.
Jeff also loves when his local sports teams win. And the one team that was his favorite overall were the Knicks, until Isaiah Thomas arrived. The Isaiah Thomas era was a terrible time to be a Knicks fan. Isaiah was running the team into the ground, and it was driving Jeff absolutely insane. And even though he was all the way in Seattle, Jeff wanted to confront Isaiah directly. So when the Knicks came to play Seattle in 2008, Jeff bought tickets right behind the Knicks bench so he could easily heckle Isaiah from the crowd. At his first chance, Jeff shouted at the top of his lungs, "Isaiah, you suck! You deserve to be fired!" He was so loud he actually scared some of the Knicks players. During the game, Jeff got in several more good screams, got a warning from security, and even had a stare down with Isaiah at halftime. He left the game feeling like his voice was heard, and I assure you it was. To prove it, I'm going to read an excerpt from the Associated Press recap of that game. Quote, "Even 2,800 miles away, the Knicks can't escape the razzing they are used to at Madison Square Garden. A New York fan, seated about a dozen rows behind his team's bench, chanted repeatedly, 'Fire Isaiah' at the coach." Ah yes, that's our Jeff.
As Alt said, and anyone that's friends with Jeff knows, when he puts his mind to something, he always wins. And this applies to more than just card games and fantasy sports. Almost 8 years ago, I was working in technology out in Seattle and thinking about starting up a company, hoping to be the next Facebook. I had an idea for a site that helped people figure out what to do at night. Well, I couldn't go at it alone, and I knew right away that the first thing I had to do was convince Jeff to be part of it, which wasn't easy. He had just gotten into Columbia Business School, and I was asking him to move all the way across the country. That said, I knew he'd be perfect for the role, and I knew that he would treat this as he treats any challenge, and be determined to win, no matter what it took. And I was right. He soon forfeited his admission to Columbia. We convinced our other co-founder, Devang, to join, and the three of us spent the next 4.5 years working together and living together in a house in Seattle. And although our company, GoTime, didn't become the next Facebook, we did end up having a successful exit. Jeff, I always looked at you as a brother, but once you spend 5 years under the same roof, working, leading, goofing off, and yes, even fighting, I can honestly say it's true.
In addition to being a winner, Jeff is also the ultimate prankster. I guarantee every person in this room has either been pranked by Jeff or knows someone who's been pranked by Jeff. His epic pranks started early. When we were in 8th grade, Jeff and Josh convinced me that I had to wear a suit to our friend Rachel's birthday party. And when I got there, Jeff answered the door wearing shorts and a t-shirt. But of all the pranks Jeff has pulled, including convincing Josh that he was selected to be on a reality TV show with his mom, there's one that really sticks out above the rest.
In a long-standing tradition of getting each other weird birthday presents, Jeff had just given me a t-shirt maker for my computer. Thinking of ways to put it to use, we realized that Jeff, Alt, and I were going to Z100's Zootopia concert. Well, we put our heads together and started plotting our latest prank, but instead of getting each other, we thought we'd try joining forces. Fast forward to the day of the concert, and we're outside by one of the stages, waiting for the main door to open. That's when we decided to execute. I reached in my bag and pulled out a newly minted t-shirt, covered with logos from Z100 and their sponsors, and across the chest it just read staff. It was legit, and without hesitation, Jeff put it on, walked down a long ramp, and he was out of sight. All nine are hanging out, and within 5 minutes a limo pulls up. A bunch of celebrities go down the same exact ramp that he did seconds before.
So we waited around for a while, but Jeff never came back out, so we eventually headed into the concert. We were dying to know where Jeff was, but there was really nothing we could do, until we spotted him directly in front of the stage. Jeff had managed to blend in with a group of professional photographers who were all working at the concert. But Jeff seemed a bit out of place because while the photographers were all using state-of-the-art camera equipment, Jeff was taking his pictures with a disposable Kodak camera. You remember the kind you had to wind after every single shot? To this day, I still have no idea how nobody noticed Jeff didn't belong there. But it just goes to show, when you're an expert prankster, anything is possible.
Well, now that Jeff is someone new in his life, it's only natural that his pranking has extended to Daniela. His elaborate surprise proposal in Washington Square Park was the ultimate prank, and it took meticulous planning to execute on tonight's dance moves, which we clearly nailed.
Yeah! Jeff, you ready to be a huge YouTube star?
But, as they say, it takes one to know one, and we've already witnessed Daniela out-prank the prankster himself.
Last year, Daniela perfectly orchestrated a surprise birthday party for Jeff and executed it flawlessly. She took Jeff to a restaurant in the city where he expected to take a pizza making class, and instead, Jeff was shocked to see 20 of his closest friends there to surprise him. After a delicious dinner, we went out to do the one thing that Jeff might love even more than pranking people, singing karaoke. It was an amazing night, and Jeff couldn't believe that Daniela had pulled one over on him.
That was pretty good, but more recently I witnessed just how much he's rubbed off on her. Jeff's office was planning a surprise pre-wedding celebration for him and needed Daniela's help getting Jeff to go to the venue. I was over their place hanging out at the time, and I watched Daniela bring it up. The story was, her friend met a new guy and they were all going to meet up for a quick drink. I watched her tell him with such a straight face that even I believed it, and I was in on it. She didn't crack once. I kept trying to give her the thumbs up, but she was too focused and determined, and I wouldn't even make eye contact with me. It was almost too good. Jeff has clearly met his match, in pranks and in life. Both Jeff and Daniela are such smart, kind, and genuine people. They're always making time to be with family, whether it's going home on Shabbat or hanging out with their brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews.
Or even spending random Sundays getting brunch and mani-pedis together. Yes, Jeff, we have photographic evidence of that one. Jeff and Daniela, we're so happy for the two of you, and we love you both so much. This has been such a magical night, and we're so happy to spend it with you and your families. The Kadabis have always treated us like their fourth and fifth sons, and we're so happy that Jeff and Daniela's love has united these two incredible families.
And with that said, will everyone please raise their glasses?
And let's toast to the amazing couple. Cheers.